Hey y'all, what's going on? It's Sheila and I am in my car. This is probably not a good idea for so many reasons. I'm actually driving to meet my friend Debbie for lunch. She's taking me on a birthday lunch and so I'm pretty excited. We do this for our birthdays. I take her to lunch, she takes me to lunch, and we hung out last night. We danced together, had a great time. I got to meet her boyfriend, which was awesome. It was so nice to meet her boyfriend. He's a really nice guy, and I'm happy that she's found someone to make her happy. So anyway, why am I doing this video? That is a very good question. I just had an encounter, and I don't know, I probably should not be talking about this right now because, they say when you do things when you're in the state of being emotional, it can sometimes turn out to be a total disaster. So anyway, but that being said, it's not going to stop me right now because I need to vent, and I am going to vent. I've had a beautiful morning. All right, car, go ahead and go, my love. Go. I had a beautiful morning. I got up. I had coffee with my friend Diane via phone. I woke up super late. I was out there partying like a rock star last night, and it's a good thing I don't drink because God knows if I drank, I probably would never have gotten out of bed at all today. But, I didn't get up until like, 10 or something. It was late. But, so I called her because we were texting, and I was like, I got to make my coffee. I'm just going to chat with her. And so we had coffee. Well, I had coffee. I don't think she was having coffee, but I chatted with her while we had coffee, and then I jumped in the shower and started getting ready. And I just ended up in a weird situation with someone that's so dear to me. I don't even know if we had an argument because I don't know if I would call that an argument because I don't know, how do I put this? I'm 54. Wow, that sounds so weird to say that. I'm 54. If my phone falls over, guys, because I have it like in this little spot, and I don't know if it's not very sturdy, so it may flip over. And because I'm not going to edit this video, if it happens, you guys are just going to be in the midst of the phone slipping, okay? At 54, I don't honestly know that I've ever been that way because even when I was younger, I've often said this, like even when I was younger, I don't know that I was ever immature or like a kid's mind. I've always been very mature, and it's probably because, me growing up with a mom that had rheumatoid arthritis, and and not in a bad way, but I was forced to grow up young. Like, I had to do things for myself. I had to learn certain things at a very young age. And so I don't know that I ever was in that childhood state of mind. Like, I didn't do those silly things like that a lot of young people do. I've never been that person. And so because of that, I have very little patience when it comes to that as an adult, because I think that by the time you reach adulthood, that you should be beyond all that. Like I don't do silly things like get mad at people and hang up on the phone on them. I just, if I'm having an argument, and I use that word loosely because I guess some things are arguments or disagreements or whatever. I'm the person that will rather talk it through. Or if I am to the point where I realize that we're not getting anywhere and maybe we both need to step away from the situation, then I will acknowledge that and say, you know what, let's talk again in a little bit. I'm not going to exit in an evil way, but I'll be like, you know what, at this present moment, we're going to agree to disagree, and we'll re-innovate on the subject at a later time. That's kind of my mentality. Like, I'm not going to be like, and I definitely don't do the whole, like when someone gets mad at you and they're upset with you and they throw out, stupid terminology like, I don't know, like, I'm not, well, and hence what I just said, stupid terminology. I shouldn't use that word stupid because I get mad when other people use it. But, and so I smack myself upside the face because I just said it. But, you know, when someone says, oh, you just think I'm stupid, or I'm not, you know, I'm not dumb, or I'm not, or, and it's like, why is it that when you have a disagreement that that's where people go? Like, why would someone think that you're saying that because you're trying to accomplish a situation or get to the end of something, that you're implying that they're stupid, or, you know, I don't know. I'm probably not making myself clear, but basically, because I'm trying not to, you know, I'm trying to be discreet in what I'm saying as well, so you guys forgive me. But I'm venting right now. I am just totally venting. But, you know, I'm so beyond all of that. And, again, I don't even know if I ever did that. I don't remember ever being angry at my girlfriends growing up and be like, oh, you think I'm retarded, or, like, you know, like, first of all, I don't ever use that term because I think that's a horrible term to use. And certainly as an adult, I would never use that term. But, you know, people do use those terms when they are angry with other people, and I don't know what makes people feel like they have to go into that form of a defensive mode to where they lash out by saying things like that. I don't know if they feel like, I don't know what takes a person to that point. But see, I don't ever, because I feel like that has a reflection on you as an individual and how you might be viewing yourself, not so much as how someone else is viewing you. Because I never view myself as that way. Like, I would never think that someone would think that I was, you know, and I didn't mean to say the word before, but in that capacity, I'm just going to say it that way. I would never think anybody would view me that way because I know better of myself. And that I know that even if I don't understand what you're saying, or I'm not agreeing with what you're saying, that doesn't make me that type of a person, or handicapped in some way, mentally or whatever. It doesn't. It just means that we're not connecting on the same term at the moment. It doesn't mean anything bad of either side. And I don't know. I just think it's so sad when people feel that way, like, and then I take it upon myself because then I start feeling bad, and that's kind of like where I am now. I just had a conversation with someone, and it kind of went in that direction, and I was like, that was not the direction that I was going in at all. And for them to say, I feel bad now because I feel like they think, like, I feel responsible for that person feeling the way that they feel, and I shouldn't be. I'm not responsible for it. That is something that they choose to feel about themselves for whatever reason. But it really has nothing to do with me, other than we just weren't agreeing in the topic that we were talking about. But it didn't warrant all that. We just, when you don't agree, you just say, you know what, hey, or if in my opinion, if I did something wrong, if I forgot something that was important to you, or where I know that I was in the wrong, I'm going to ask for forgiveness, for one, and then I'm going to do everything within my power to make it up to you if once it's addressed. I'm not going to lash back out at the person and make it like it becomes their fault that this whole incident happened. And that's kind of what happened today. And it's sad. It hurts my feeling. It hurts me deeply because I'm like, again, like I said, I just don't go there with people, and I just don't understand what makes people get into those frame of minds where they start throwing terms and saying words, and because some words, once you say them, you can't, most words, no words, once you say words, you don't take them back. Like, they're said and they're there. And I've learned that the hard way. Now, I will say this, there was a time in my life that I did those things. Let's keep it real. Let me just get real with y'all. I'm going to correct myself because there was a time in my life that I was in such a bad state with a person that we were not getting along, and I felt like I wanted to hurt them as much as they hurt me. And so by that, I would say things to them the way they talked to me. And after I would say them, and they, I'm going to admit something. I was probably feeling those certain things at that time. But I would the real me would not have ever said those things out loud, but I actually was saying these things to this person out loud. But I'll be honest, my thought process at that time was, I'm going to hurt you with the same words that you used to hurt me. Even though if I was feeling those, I would typically not say them out loud, because my mother always said, if you don't have something good to say about somebody, then you keep it to yourself. And that's what I grew up believing, and I do believe that. But there was a period of time in my life where I had been hurt so bad, and I was being treated so bad, that I did those things. And when I realized that I had fallen so far off the deep end, so to speak, I quickly had a come to Jesus meeting with myself, and I told myself that I have no one to blame for my behavior but myself, and I have to get a grip on my behavior. I can't allow other people's actions to dictate to me or change the person that I am. And so I stopped. I as quickly as I started it, I stopped it. I was like, never again will I ever allow myself to stoop to that level. I allowed someone else's being to reflect my being, and I stopped. And I've not ever done that since. When I feel like I'm getting to the point where, because I'm human, I can get pretty pissed off, and I know that, and especially now with my menopausal state of mind, oh man, I have to really come to grips with myself sometimes, because I sometimes want to, like right now, I'm venting. I would have never done this in a million years. Like, I would have never gotten on YouTube and been like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And here I am on YouTube venting to y'all, even though I'm not giving you guys specifics, but I'm letting you guys in on a personal side of me that I would not have ever done. But I'm venting this because I'm at the point where I realize that if this is happening to me, I know it's happening to other people. And I try to turn everything around to make something good come out of it. And I'm having, this is one of those moments that I would have to check myself. Like I said, I'm 54. I'm beyond all that, and I did allow myself to go there before in my life. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm admitting that, but at the same time, I'm saying that this form of venting is allowing me the chance to talk through the emotions of what just happened, and even though you guys are probably like, I don't know what this girl is talking about. She is just out in left field, just running her mouth about God knows what. I get it, because it does seem that way. I know I'm just rambling on about a whole bunch of nonsense right now, but believe me, it's making sense in my head. And y'all just get to listen, okay? But me talking this through is allowing me to get a grip on my emotions and allowing myself the chance to relax and calm down. And inadvertently, it's making me realize that this has nothing to do with me. This has to do with the person. And maybe they feel bad, which they should feel bad. I would feel bad. I mean, I know if I forgot something or did something, didn't acknowledge something that was very important to someone that I loved and cared for, I would bend over backwards to show them that I'm sorry, and I would never ever point the finger at them and make it be about them. I just wouldn't. And in this case, this is what's happened to me, but it's okay. I'm already starting to feel better about it. I'm like, you know what? I know it's not me, it's them. They're having to deal with this in their own terms, and I can't, as much as I would like to, I can't beg someone to be like me. I can't, you can't force someone to be anything other than what they are. And they have to realize things in their own terms and come to grips with things in their own terms. And I know in due time, this person will, because this person is a great person. It's a great friend. We've been friends for a long time. We've got a lot of history together. And I know that they're dealing with other things that perhaps maybe forcing them to act the way that they're acting. I'm guessing. I don't know. I'm saying that, and I'm like, really? Is that are you justifying? And yeah, okay, I am. I'm justifying it. I'm sitting here justifying a person's bad behavior, and I know it, which I'm always guilty of that. I always, like I said, I was just saying, I take it upon myself to make it, to take on the situation, and here I am. I'm doing that, and I shouldn't feel bad when someone else lashes out at me. I'm feeling bad for the person, not for me. So like me, so typical. But anyway, at any rate, I've just vented about a lot of stuff that you guys know nothing about, cannot even in your wildest dream understand. But all of this is part of where I am in my life right now, and there's just, I just needed to talk this one out for whatever reason. And if someone is dealing with a situation, I guess I'm going to turn this around to be so that you guys, we're going to learn something from this, because again, all things happen for a reason. So I'm feeling like right now that there are people that do exactly what I'm saying, that they get mad at someone and they start throwing words out, and they, instead of acknowledging, like when they are in the wrong or they made a mistake, they lash out at the other person and make it about them and not about the situation itself. I'm going to bet that there's someone right now watching this channel that is dealing with a very similar situation. And you know what? Let's just say that you can change that. Nobody can change you but yourself. And just like the day that I realized that I had become the very person that I despised, I was lashing out at them the same way, using words to hurt them. And I've mentioned to you all that I've been verbally abused a lot in my life. I've been physically abused and I've been verbally abused. And I will say that with no doubt in my mind, verbal abuse has hurt me way more than physical abuse. And I don't know that people realize that. Words that people speak, they never leave me. I've shared with y'all that I was told every day of my life for a long time that I was ugly, I was fat, I was disgusting, I was stupid, I was some really harsh things. And I still struggle with those words. I hear them. When I tell you guys that I struggle with, I'm always concerned about my weight. I always feel like I could do better. I know that that is a reflection from what I went through. I know that I still hear those words in my head that I'm fat, that I'm ugly. And even though I can look in the mirror and I know that I'm a beautiful person, and I know that not only am I'm beautiful on the outside, but I'm beautiful on the inside, I still hear those words. Having been told that I was stupid leaves me constantly trying to prove that I'm an intelligent person. And so when I when I realized that I was saying those same words to hurt someone because I had been hurt, I really had to have a come to Jesus meeting with myself. And I broke down and I just cried because I thought, oh my God, why? I can't be that person. Like that, I can't. Help me to change me. And I am so thankful that I was able to change me. And it wasn't a long period of time that I did it. I just I became angry, and I was trying, like I said, I just wanted to hurt them because they had hurt me. And so, but I realized it. I pulled myself together, and no longer will I allow myself to be in that predicament. I will never ever treat someone like that. And if I feel like I'm getting to that point, I check myself. So I'm saying all this to say, words are powerful things. They cut worse than a knife. When you love someone, whether it's your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your sister, your brother, your best friend, whatever, and you guys have a disagreement, you're not able to connect on something, don't take it to the level to where hateful things come out, where you got to hang up the phone, where you got to, don't start in on that. And definitely don't start in on that woe is me type of attitude, because you know what? It's not about that. It's not, arguments are not necessarily about a person being right or wrong. And I think people don't realize that arguments or misunderstandings are because when people believe that what they're saying is the right thing, to them it is, they're not wrong. It's the fact that that you're not connecting on the same level, but because you feel that you're very right in your situation or your way of thinking, that's what makes it not about a right or wrong situation. I know that was very confusing, and I don't know if I'm making myself clear in that, but yeah. So anyway, I'm almost to my friend, and I need to just wind down this video. Like I said, I don't even know. I'm doing this on the YouTube thing itself, where it's kind of like, it's not live, but I'm just gonna put it up and not edit this darn thing, so it's gonna be however it is. And you guys will be watching this going, dang girl, you fell off the deep end. And maybe I have, I don't know, but I just had a very, okay, you know what, I'm just gonna stop here. I'm gonna I'm gonna stop saying this over and over because I feel like I'm repeating myself. I'm venting